Mr. Hughes, someone is making a profit on a plane that can't fly.
This plane will fly. If it were to be a failure, I would leave this country and never come back, and I mean it.
Well, it's hard to believe, but Warren Beatty has not acted in a movie in 15 years. He hasn't directed one in 18 years. Along comes Rules Don't Apply, his first movie in nearly 2 decades, and the good news, it was well worth waiting for. This has been a long gestating project. He's wanted to do a film involving the eccentric billionaire Howard Hughes for decades. His initial thought of this came 50 years ago with a near run-in with Howard Hughes, although he's never met Howard Hughes at all, even though he's met everybody else in the business. Beatty was intrigued by him, and that sort of sparked an idea, but he went on to, of course, many other movies, so many great films that he has written or directed. An Academy Award for directing Reds, Bonnie and Clyde, which he also produced, Heaven Can Wait. Beatty's one of the legends of the business, and he's playing a legend here in Howard Hughes. And he is terrific here.
I really can't afford to let him make me some kind of a psychiatric case. I would leave this country and never come back. I'd leave this country and never come back. I'd leave this country and never come back, you know? I'd leave this country and never come back.
Obviously having a great time in this movie, which is set in 1958, in that period. But this is not a biopic of Howard Hughes, not at all. Really, the two leads are these two young people who come to Hollywood in that era, and that is when Beatty first came to Hollywood, and this seems to be a very personal movie. In fact, I think the role played by actor Alden Ehrenreich, he plays a young driver who is working for Howard Hughes. I think that is meant to be Beatty himself in some ways. Certainly the memories of Hollywood that time, which has been beautifully recreated in this movie. Great cinematography, by the way, by Caleb Deschanel.
When is Frank's fiance coming to town?
She believes that once you've been intimate in the eyes of God, you're committed to that person for the rest of your life.
I agree with Sarah.
Well, that's a little, I'm not legally married.
But the story revolves around these two young people who both work for Howard Hughes. A young aspiring actress played by Lily Collins comes to Hollywood with her mother. She has a strict religious upbringing. She's still a virgin, but she is attracted to the young driver played by Ehrenreich. He is engaged to be married. He also comes from a strict religious upbringing, and Beatty did this on purpose because he came from Virginia with a kind of American Puritanism ingrained in his head as well. So some of this comes from his own background. Let's look at that era when there was a lot of repression sexually.
You think I'm nuts, right?
Was it
Oh, get that person out of here.
I think you should see someone.
This movie actually is so much fun in so many ways. It's got some very broad comic moments as well as some real poignant ones, and the acting is exceptional across the board, with Beatty stealing his own show, I have to say, as Hughes. There is a great supporting cast of name actors who show up for a couple of scenes, people like Matthew Broderick and Alec Baldwin, of course Annette Bening, who's married to Beatty in real life.
We're Baptist.
You do know why Baptists think sex is bad, don't you? Because it might lead to dancing.
But this movie really is a Valentine to Hollywood of that era, and how Beatty, I think, remembers it. Really good to have Warren Beatty back on the big screen, back behind the scenes as well, directing, writing, and producing this movie as well. And mind you, he is the only person in film history who's been nominated for acting, writing, directing, and producing in a single film, and he did it twice. Orson Welles did it just once with the classic Citizen Kane. So you know we're dealing with a master here, and he's back on his game. I say, for Rules Don't Apply, go.